you no longer get like health regen from the minions that you kill. Rather, you just get lifesteal in general. But the side of RNG will go for that weapon paddle to be placed in lane. You mentioned it before, and we kind of did, talk about the weapon paddle before. And he works, basically paddle works very similarly to that or so.
I'm pretty sure Petal's a she. I'm normally wrong on the genders of heroes, but I'm pretty sure Petal's a she. And yeah, last pick is going to be Samuel as expected. I think that Impunity were going to go with that draft pretty much whatever was picked up. They were like, yeah, they're going to pick a weapon carry. They've got the Ryan. They're going to pick a captain of some sort. They went with Churnwalker, so that makes it even more sense to pick Samuel because poke comps are really good against Churnwalker. If you have someone who can outrange him, Churnwalker can't land chains and then is completely useless. All of his kit is revolved around landing and maintaining chains. Perk A, B, and O are all to do with those chains. So if you have a comp like a Samuel and a Celeste or just double poke, then Churnwalker has absolutely nothing on that. He can't land chains. He's going to die. His team can't utilize Churn or any of his abilities.
Yep. But there is one thing that I really wanted to see from both of these teams because they know each other so well. I know there are very limited meta heroes at this point. It's either this or that, if not then that. But they should know each other's play style. And I was actually expecting later scaling gameplay, basically drafting coming through because both of these teams generally want to play super passively until the late game, catch one person out, catch two people out, and then start the snowball. And it's so weird to say snowball in the late game, but this is what RNG do, or Impunity does best when going up against each other. And this is what they are all about. And Samuel, if you don't quite try to poke in that early game, try to apply pressure in the early game, it will be very difficult for you to scale up because Rhyme can just tank you up in the late game once he lands those Winter Spires, those Chilled Winds, and the Valkyrie as well. And Pat can just kite and just poke you from afar. And Pat with that Churn, I know Churn is an early game hero, not very much a late game, but we've seen it work in late game. Those Trespass and those Torments will come in really, really handy in late game team fights.
Yeah, I think both teams will feel that they can win the early game team fights. Ryan will think, yeah, Ryan can do well. Samuel will agree that he can do quite well with the Drifting Dark at level 2. So we might see a fight because both teams think they can win, but also both teams will know that the other team can probably win the fight as well. So there's no real advantage to either team early on, which could lead to a very passive game, very late game scaling compositions, which we have seen these teams do before, because if you make a mistake, you're going to lose the game. So we are going to have to wait and find out, are we going to see aggression from Impunity and from Renegades, or will it be scaling into the late game? We're loading into the house to unfold for the first game of the finals. Let us know which team you think is going to take this series. And I think, yeah, it's going to start defensive, but level 2, we're really going to find out what these teams' intentions are. Do they plan on this level 2 fight, or do they plan to just farm?
Yeah, but then you see now Renegades really just playing super passively. They're just going into their bags, just clearing them out. But SNK EA on that Churnwalker just being an absolute nuisance right now, walking in Arden, throughout the fold, and of course trying to provide vision for his team around this Elder Treant. But entirety of Impunity will now roam into this Elder Treant, and let's see if there's a fight that will happen.
One chain does land, the second chain does miss, and the chain's being broken. Get those back. He wants to get chains on the Elder and on the enemy. There's one. He's going to try and do a bit of damage, but SNK does manage to. Shingy secures the Treant away. Now Greasy doing a lot of damage because he's going to jump in with the trampoline. Going to do a bit of damage with Defq, but the chains are not landing, so this damage is not being reflected throughout the entire team. Defq going to do a bit of damage. SNK forced to boots away. Interesting build from SNK, going for boots and protect the contract. Spaghetti will trampoline over the wall back towards his lane. Now he's going to port home, so Vox will be able to push this lane very effectively. Spaghetti could be in a bit of trouble. He might even face at the bush, but Defq will show himself. So it's a nice place from Spaghetti being defensive. And yeah, we're going to see a passive game from these teams, most likely. Petal is struggling farm, but he's going to get that nice one.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, both of these teams, they have, I don't want to say they respect each other too much, but they know what each other can do. They know one single mistake can just turn the game around, and that's why they are just playing generally in such so passively throughout whenever they do meet each other. But now, once again, SNK trying to go in, stealing the Elder Trade would be Chingy.
Yep, Shingy does manage to get that one away. SNK's got three chains, so they can turn this fight around. Futility of life. So much work. How is that? That is a passive from Churnwalker and a half. Spaghetti dealing a little bit of damage to heal up SNK, and that just shows how strong Churnwalker is early on. He got 3 chains and just cannot die. When you play Churnwalker with his rare talent, it is ridiculous how much healing he gets. He's just so fun to play. But even without it, that's just keeping him alive. So no kills traded, and the gold very even.
Yeah, the gold will be relatively even. I mean, 6.5 to 6.2. Not much now in this early game. Once again, Samuel not quite finding those fights that he needs to. Elder Trian constantly secured by RNG anyways. And although Quarterval now moving forward, as with Queasy as well, onto this Elder Trian, let's see if they can actually steal it. Nope.
Deb is going to go over to Quarterval actually. Now, Shingy trying to do a bit of work. And it's going to be Renegades going quite aggressive. I think that they can try and get a bit of damage onto the box if they decide to go in. Shingy has not got boots available actually, so Deku going to try and run away. Chillwins does not quite connect. Now Quarterbot is the next target. Drifting Duck very aggressive from Queasy. Chain has landed. He's going to get second Malice and Verdict empowered inside that Drifting Dark, but will not get any more. Now Shingy, Winter Spire does not quite connect. Of course, he's healing fast on himself. That Chain, Hook and Chain not going to hit as well. Now SNK a little bit low on health, and Spaghetti is forced to back away. One Chain is going to be broken.
Very good wave pushing towards RNG, and if DevQ or the side of Impunity really wishes to, they can just concentrate their firepower onto this turret, but they will back off. They will be looking for a team fight.
Yeah, that's going to be Shingy going quite low. Def Cube working towards Poison Chip as a first item to try and counter the Rhymes. The Stain. Spaghetti is farming up quite well under his turret, but Queasy wants to take that turret down. Spaghetti can trampoline in for a bit of extra range, but Malice Verdict not quite enough. SNK baits him with the healing flask. He'll be okay. Shingy back up to lane, a little bit healthier from that front trim, but still very low. All 3 members of Renegades. Impunity could try and push their advantage a little bit more. But Samuel is running out of energy, so he's not going to be able to push the tier 1 tight down any further. SNK try to land 2 chains, does torment them back, but that won't be too much. Spaghetti's going to fall home.
Yep, and Impunity constantly just staying and protecting their tires really well, and that is one of the early game weakness of Petal going up against a Fox, and the only weakness that obviously we can tell, but it's just how slow Spaghetti farms as compared to Fox and those resonance bouncers that can just distribute damage in general, right? So Fox will generally farm really fast, but Quarterval may be caught up by Chingy.
Yeah, there's going to be Winter Spire forcing Boots from Quartervoir. No, sorry, it's forcing Vanguard to keep himself alive, but it's not enough. Petal gets the first blood, and now Samuel, Malice, and Verdict in this Drifting Dark is doing quite a little bit of damage. But Shingy's wanting to go on the top. Deku, level 5 infusion popped, and Poison Chip. He wants to fight. Water Wind Fly to survive. One force Boots away. There's going to be the sleep bomb. Samuel's going to come down, and it's going to be dodged out. Deku is doing a lot of damage. Will we be able to survive? Chumok, he's bouncing on himself, and he will stay alive. Now Spaghetti is trying to defend this turret by himself. Samuel is no good for some farm, but Ryan already picked it up. There's the drifting sideways to get as much damage on this turret as they can. Impunity will get a return first turret. Torment going to yank Samuel towards that turret, but he's fine. Fox gets the turret taken down, and Defu is so aggressive. He's got his fusion. Wait for it. Will it be enough? Not quite. How is Churnwalker still alive? He hasn't died yet. Defu wants basic. Petal probably could have fought it, but she's going to bait. She's going to try it. Vanguard can come through. Defu is going to be healthy. Take 2 turret shots, and now Shingy's up in lane. Spaghetti still wants to port home to work towards that tornado trigger, but Impunity, the call is back off. Let's go to shop. Nice infusion from Defu gets them a bit of an advantage.
Yep, gives the side of Impunity a tower, and on top of that as well, no kills, but definitely give them, a slight, just softening that gold lead that the side of Renegades have got over them. Although it's just a mere 500. Earlier on, it was close to 1,000, close to 1,000, I think 8 or something. 1,000, 8 or something 100 over to the side of Impunity. I can't quite remember the number right now, but honestly, DevQ picking up that early game infusion definitely is helping the side of Impunity right now, because Spaghetti, although he has got an infusion in his pocket, what we see from both Renegades and Impunity, generally is once they pick up their first item, they'll immediately buy an infusion to just try to get, you know, an extra spike in power, an extra spike in defense, just so any early game team fights would break out. And DefQ definitely making full use of that infusion, picking up a turret for their team as well. But Impunity, you know, looking as if like they have got an advantage, will look to push the second one as well.
Yeah, infusion still active for DefQ. He wants to get as much value out of that. Popped by Quisi, so Quisi's used that level 7 infusion. Spaghetti still got his available, has hit level 7 now, so probably going to pop that with this team fight. Using his reflex block, one chain, going to come out, going to use that torment, try and push DefQ, and he's going to start with DefQ. Valkyrie comes down, not a little bit wide actually, sneak onto 2 members, wait for it, going to come through, silence them up. DefQ is going to take a little bit of damage, he's going to do a lot more though on Shing. He hasn't got breaking point, infusion is almost going to run out for DefQ, and so he's going to fall just as his infusion runs out, and that is a trade on to the Samuel actually to get a kill onto Rhyme. And now Samuel trying to make the plays. Can he do the 1 versus 2? Doesn't look likely, but Spaghetti didn't pop his infusion. He didn't need to apparently, so he's still got that available. Voxes did run out just as he died, and Quisi getting a little bit off his, managing to secure the Rhyme. And now Spaghetti looking to try and push the return 2 on turret. Vox is taking backs with Samuel, so this should go down.
Yep, it should go down, and if they don't, then the side of RNG may be once again doing what they, you know, don't do quite well at, and that is not making full use of the death. But I do have to take that back because they are going for the bigger objective right now, which would be the gold mine, but will be spotted out by Impunity.
Yeah, I don't think they could have really skipped that gold mine anywhere close to what they wanted to. If they'd have pushed the turret down, then maybe could have forced some back ports and sneak a gold mine. But given the rotation of Impunity, it's really not going to happen. Second infusion picked up by DefQ, and Shingy has managed to buy an infusion and use it before Spaghetti decides to use his. Still in the pocket, waiting. He bought it at level 6. He's now level 8. They had an even trade, so he's spent 500 less gold than DefQ on infusions. And Spaghetti gets level 9. This might be important. DefQ with a bit of damage. There's going to be a drifting dart forward. Spaghetti going to go and look quite low from that Samuel, and he's going to have to back to the base. There's no way he's going to survive any length of time in this fight. So Resonance bounces though, catches him out, and he's going to go so low to that second bounce, but will not fall. Now SNK is the next target. That's a lovely Oblivion. Going to put him to sleep. Fountain will not be enough to save his life. SNK is going to go, and so will the turret. Impunity using well these infusions, and that is going to be Shingy going solo. Going to go down. Now Spaghetti has sold his infusion to work towards a bit more defense, but that's not going to do anything. DefQ with 15 breaking point stacks gets the ace. Impunity 3 turrets 10 minutes in. This is the Impunity we like to see.
Yep, and this is what Impunity does so well. I mean, even looking at Renegades, they managed to just take down 2 players from the side of Impunity earlier on in the fight before this one. Forces Samuel to just back off into his jungle, and yet the push couldn't come through. There was no push into the first turret at all. Whereas for Impunity, just look at them. They secure 1 kill, they go for the turret, they secure the second one to push into the third, and of course DefQ being just bloodthirsty at this point, just wanted the triple kill for himself, wanted to ace that of Renegades, and manages to do so. Push down the anchor turret, and now RNG have got their both base fully exposed. I wanted to say exposed and base at the same time. It came out as both. But anyways, yes, have their base fully exposed, and it is just Impunity just can slowly take the game right now. They can just hold up, try to hold their ground, you know, just defend this first tier turret, but maybe will not be able to.
Yeah, Spaghetti doing a lot of damage. It's going to take it down. Waterbot using that crucible, and the Gauntlet's going to come through, but the Torment's going to yank them towards this Rhyme. Petal's a bit tired. She's gone to sleep, but Rhyme is not. Rhyme's doing the work. And now Petal's going to jump in onto DefQ. Torment going to yank him back towards that wall. Shut down for the Rhyme. 1 turret, for Renegades, and 2 kills. Now they will be able to stop Waterbot porting, but no, he just manages to get home. SNK deciding that the gold mine is more important. He kind of wanted Arden to port home. It's not worth chasing that Arden down for the kill. Let him back to the base. Get 2 turrets, and so 1.5 turrets and a gold mine. So nice turnaround for Renegades. Impunity not looking that strong in that particular team fight.
Yeah, did not look all that strong in that team fight. Only reason because both Quisi and DefQ was caught out of position, got, you know, hooked by, you know, basically Chan Walker's hook and chain, and got hooked into that gauntlet, although Quarterboss set it down. But Spaghetti, with that damage, I don't think you should quite be anywhere near Spaghetti and Chingy. The side of Impunity should just work. and play with their team comp. And their team comp being kite from afar, dance around the enemies, don't get hooked by the Churn Walker, and don't get exploded by Chingy. Basically, it sounds very easy on paper since, you know, Chingy has got, Chingy is a melee, considered melee hero. The only poke that Chingy quite had would be that of the Winter Spires, but DevQ and Quisi can easily just dodge out from them. As with Quisi, we spoke about Samuel before. None of his abilities have got a dash, but he is constantly moving. He's not a stationary mage like that of Celeste or Scarf, even, you know, Castro when using those glimmer shots. So he's constantly moving, but yet in that team fight, it definitely RNG definitely played very, very well, landing those hook and chains and then just chaining, tormenting them closer to that of Chingy and Spaghetti.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Impunity are ahead. Despite the fact they lost the last team fight, they're being aggressive with their rotation, starting up the Sentry now. And there's really not much that Renegades can do against this except hope that Petal scales or try and land a couple of chains, get that trespass, get a couple of stuns so that Shingi can close the gap really quite easily. I think Impunity might look for a little bit of a gank here, try and hide, look for a fight, because there isn't a sentry. But SNK is like, nah, I'm just going to wait by the base. So really, really odd how defensive Renegades are, despite the fact they won the last team fight. And Impunity happy to just take the entire jungle away. And it's really, really odd that Renegades aren't doing anything.
Yeah, I think at this point, Renegades really just want to farm up, turtle up, and just hold the lane towards themselves. So when, you know, when their wave does get pushed out, it will be stopped immediately. And the side, DevQ and Quisi cannot quite get any lane farm coming into this later part of the game. But I don't think it's working quite well for them. I mean, the Impunity is just going through their jungle and their jungle. Make sense? Jungle, Renegades, and their own jungle, and just securing farm that way. Although lane is pushed towards the side of Renegades. But Renegades, they are not too far back. They are about 1,000 gold back. They can definitely come back from this. We've seen bigger gold gaps comebacks from the side of Renegades before. They just have to constantly execute very similar team fights, have Quarterfall jump in, land those hooks and chains on Quisi and DevQ, pull them into a Winter Spire, if not then a Valkyrie, and I think it is pretty much a voila, that is how you're going to win your game.
Yeah, Solarblade into double Tornado Trigger for Petal already. Box is on 3 items as well, so very even. Red looking into this team fight. Winter Spire's gonna land through. There's Trampoline from Spaghetti, gonna go do a bit of damage. FQ is trying to trade with the 1 versus 1. Who's gonna get the kill? Looks like Death's gonna go down to the Rhyme actually. And now that is the next who's the next target for Spaghetti? It's gonna be Quincy, who's fighting back in his drifting dart, drifting around the fold, and now Quarterbar's trying to keep him alive. But Spaghetti is about half health. Gordon wasted completely. Nothing you're going to get from that except a cooldown on his Echo, I assume. And so now Spaghetti is going to try and push this wave up. I don't think Renegade's going to get much more than a Titu turret. Maybe a Sentry, but no, they're going to back off towards the Kraken. I doubt they're going to take it. Maybe start it up to bait a fight. Yeah, they are going to start it. You can't chain Kraken. That is one not mistake, but one disadvantage of Churnwalker is that when you're trying to take Kraken, you can't chain it. When you're defending against the Kraken, you can't chain it. So if the enemy team all stand behind Kraken, then you can't land your chains on them. But I'm surprised when they got that Kraken so quick.
And one thing as well, I mentioned earlier on when we actually went into draft, it's that Samuel falls out rather, you know, largely as compared to Chingy on this rhyme into the late game. And we are seeing the spikes coming through from Chingy. Yes, I know Spaghetti was basically the MVP of that fight, just putting out so much damage onto DevQ in that 1v1-ish fight. But Chingy, as compared to Samuel, Chingy definitely have got the upper hand as long as Chingy can stay in team fights for a very, very long time.
Yeah, here's going to be DevQ building up breaking point stacks. Valkyrie comes down. That's the trespass. Doing a bit of work. SNK getting as much as he can. And that's going to be Petal getting the kill onto DevQ. Quarterbar, the next target. He's going to vanguard towards Quisi. Kraken very healthy on this tier 3 turret. Going to go down very quickly to the Petal. So already working towards the last item. And now Renegades looking to see if they can push down to the base. First gauntlet dropped. Echo is up now for Quarterbar. Going to pop it on that gauntlet. Trying to defend this Vein Crystal turret. Lovely double summer. Spaghetti's going to run around the backside. Trampoline onto the turret. Petal doesn't care. She's going to get Atlas, but the Vein's exposed. They're turning their focus. They don't care about DevQ. Vine wants to get some kills, but Petal's like, nah, let's take the game. And Renegades take the first game. despite the fact we were saying they were being too passive, didn't look like they were going to win. They just have.
Well, I mean, Renegades and Impunity definitely played rather passively as compared